Yeah, CK Mann, Paapa Nyankson and Carousel 7 were a very big professional music education for me. And I'll tell you how all that happened. Basically, after having been part of Sombutu for a little while and playing all these, gigs, it just happened that we were being heard all over the place, and as people started taking notice of me, the management of CK Mann was notified about me. So it just happened we once performed in a night spot in F.U.T.U.R.E, and without my knowledge, the management of CK Mann happened to be at this spot. And right after the gig, one gentleman by the name of Mr. Opon, who happened to be the manager or promoter of Carousel 7, approached me, invited me to his table, and offered me a drink. We started having a chat. I had actually heard of Mr. Opon, and I think his promotional company was Pacos, if I'm not mistaken, and therefore he was quite popular. So, having heard of him and met him for the first time, after introducing himself, I thought, we might be onto a big thing here. We started having a chat, and bam, he just hit me with it. How about becoming a part of CK Mann's Carousel 7? And I thought to myself, wait a minute, how can that happen? Because I knew definitely that the band of CK Mann was a very tight one. I mean, they'd been going for such a long time. So if I'm being courted into the band, there must be something amiss. And as it goes, it just happened that CK Mann had just returned from abroad after a tour, and they had problems with the personnel in the band. Therefore, some of the members were, sacked or just left the band. So here was the time that they had to recruit some new members, and I was approached. I went for audition amongst other drummers, and I happened to get a job, and everything else was like a big classroom of professional music for me. Because when I started with CK Mann, in fact, there was so much love for me as a youngster who had just left school and has been able to find his way into this big band. Because let's not forget, they were legends at the time. Yes? Yeah. Paapa Nyankson was one of the most influential singers in Ghana at the time. And CK Mann had established himself to a legendary status with his guitar playing and with his singing as well. And therefore, I couldn't put a foot wrong in all that I did as part of CK Mann's Carousel 7. One of the things that I learned about this giant CK Mann was discipline. discipline in one's musicianship. You could be one of the best players in the world playing with CK, but if you didn't have the discipline, man, walk on by, you're out. You are out. Trust me. And I remember when this whole idea of going in to record the Funky High Life album, I had worked with the band for about a couple of years and had very well gelled into the groove of the band. And I can recollect when we went for rehearsals towards this recording. I was sitting there and watching how CK and Paapa Nyankson were going about their rounds in the song, you know, Asafu Beson. Basically CK with his guitar chords and Paapa Nyankson, his vocals weaving through. I mean, it was very, very, very much of a higher standard approach to music recording, because at the time I can remember the presence of Ebo Taylor, Oscar Sule, and a guitarist who used to be part of that comedy group, F.U.T.U.R.E. He was an excellent guitarist as well. So all these big names were at the rehearsals, and I was just checking out how the whole mood of the song was heading. And as Paapa Nyankson, you know, weaved through CK Man's guitar with a line like Asafu Beson, Asafu Beson, Enyo Masafu Beson, when ya prawu bezampa. I heard the bass player, who was by the name of Owusu, and Owusu was one of the unique bass players in Ghana at the time, because this man played his bass purely out of feelings. And I'm talking about feelings. It was an inner thing. He wasn't the conventional type of bass player that you would put a music manuscript before him and he would just have to go, you know, mechanically by what he sees on the paper. Owusu was a bass man that lived the bass, he drank the bass, he slept the bass. Therefore, the feeling that he put behind playing his bass guitar was such a unique way, and the sound that came out was one that, being an instrumentalist, playing with someone like Owusu, you could not afford to really mess around. And as a drummer, I needed to find the right sort of rhythm to complement what Owusu was playing. So when Paapa Nyankson came in with his melodic line, and CK with his guitar, as well as this other guitarist, I think he was called Opong, if I'm not mistaken, I heard a heavy drop of bass line. I mean, it was quite funny because all that went on initially was just CK Man, Paapa Nyankson, and this other guitarist Opong just, you know, going through their rounds, and all of a sudden I heard boom, doo-dum, dum, dum, doo-dum, ba-bum, doo-dum, bum, boom, ba-bum, dum, doo-dum, ba-bum, dum, dum, boom, ba-bum. And I thought, wow, this sounded a cross between James Brown and something from the reggae backyard of Kingston, Jamaica. And when I heard that, I thought to myself, wow, this is groovy. This is my thing. I love this. But by saying that, I already knew that the rhythms that has got to come out of me to carry that would have to be a sweet, danceable one.